Hello, I'm FuGyz and I'm gonna show you how to make a thumbnail for your Minecraft video, your video for your channel, a thumbnail to people to see on YouTube and click on it. I'm gonna show you my style and then you can make your own style out of my style. I'm gonna show every single step, I'm gonna say what to do, and you can make or decide to not make anything I say. So if you don't want to go through a step, you don't need it, and I'm gonna show you how I make my thumbnails. This thumbnail is gonna be for my video that got out before this one, so this video came out after this video. I'm gonna make the thumbnail for Happy 2021. First, you wanna get a picture like this one about your video. So in this video I play Bad Wars, and there's nothing special on that video, so I only play Bad Wars. I talk about things that happened in real life, like the COVID thing, my merch as well. If you wanna buy my merch, is in the description, thank you. And yeah, first you have this image you took. What I like to do is make it big, just put it right here, like here is my character and here's my image. For this I made a little image on top, so in every video I make there is this line, white line, light. I have my character, I have this, yeah, I have every single thing of this, I have the shadow. So yeah, I'm imagine you have none of this and you have just the image you took. Yeah, so what I like to do is use this image, slide it to look cool, I don't know, like the bed is normal, like the image is rotating, and then I scale it until you can see any gaps and try to make it centered. And I'm using paint.net. If you wanna slide not like this, you just keep pressing shift and then you slide it how you want. It's not gonna make that problem. You put your image, try not to, yeah, I like mine this way, try not to see the gap. Yeah, so it looks like this. Watch out for the gaps. So you now have your image like this, and what you wanted to do is just go to tools and go to forms, and then you go to square, and here you make it just one color, and then you make it white. You add a layer and you make these borders like this. Try match the other one. It doesn't need to be perfect. Try and make it as similar as possible. So now you have this border. What you need to do is go to options of this layer, and instead of normal you put superposition. It looks like this, like a light. And if you already have the characters like me, it will look like this. Okay, so you have this thumbnail. Now we are going to the advanced stuff. Some of you may like the thumbnail how it is here, but I'm gonna show every single step how to make a thumbnail like me. So what you wanna do now, it's just come here and you see these little things, this, yeah, you don't want these ones in your thumbnail, so it's more distracting than your actual thumbnail. So what I'm gonna do here is get rid of level and the W. It doesn't need to be perfect, so let's get started. Try and lower this bar up here, and this will make this with more feather and will look much better. So I recommend turning it down a bit, but not that much, like 35 may be good for you. Remember, you don't need to do it perfectly. So we got rid of the W. We just need to get rid of level, because they are the up things that I don't like and I don't want them in my thumbnail. But the tuner client icon, I want that, so I'm not gonna get rid of it. And the FuGyz, I'm not gonna get rid of it as well. And the elf is not that bad, so it's not a big of a problem, but I'm gonna stay with the elf. I'm not gonna get rid of it, and that only makes more work to do. So now you just need to get rid of the level. Remember that it doesn't need to be perfect. I'm pretty happy with this. I just need to delete the 7. Also, you have to make like the colors have to match the exact color of the background. So that's why I'm using this tool. This makes for pretty good masking things. Just need to get rid of 7. You have to press Ctrl and click on the other side. I forgot to mention it. If you're asking yourself that, you stop clicking Ctrl, so this is the area, and then you click on the other side and it will copy like this. Remember, don't keep pressing it because this will happen. Yeah. Spam, so you click a lot of times and it will disappear, and make it how you like it to be. But remember, it doesn't need to be perfect. It's just you just need to make it not look like there's obviously yellow or blue light. You just need to mask the colors, and no one will see this when you blur it out. You can select a larger scale if you want. Pretty easy, right? Yeah. So we're done of masking it. As you see, it's obvious, but if you don't know that there is a problem here, you will not see. Only there is a black square here, but that's not a problem. Now, I want to move this icon to here, and I want to make the hub not blurry. What you're gonna do is select all of your, use this tool, and you select all of the options. Don't select the dark line with the letters are in, because it just doesn't work. So I made this, and if you wanna add someone, press Ctrl, and you keep pressing Ctrl, and if you have an error, Ctrl C. Remember that. Remember, this one doesn't need to be perfect as well, because we're gonna make it more perfectly. So you Ctrl C, and you add the layer on top of it. You do Ctrl V, and when you hide this, your image, it will show this. Now, what you wanna do is go to your eraser, and remember this, don't make it super low or super high, make it a little bit like 50. And now you delete the border, so it doesn't look extremely obvious. It doesn't need to be perfect as well, but try and make it almost perfect. So as you can see, it looks like this. Now I just need the lunar client one. Try not make it extremely obvious or extremely bad, because it will make it look better. Now I want to move the lunar client here on the right on the left of my name. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select this, Control C, press delete, and add another layer and put it right on where I want it to. Remember to see your original image. That's perfect. Now, as you can see, the lunar client is not perfect, so I'm gonna just give it another little try here. Okay, now I can add the lunar client image to the bottom one, so now it looks like this. And then you have your HUD done. Now what you want to do is get rid of the other icon. Nice, so you now have this. What you want to do now is add a blank mask on top of your character and on top of any object you want it to glow. So I want my character and the bed. And remember, you have to add a new layer, because if you don't add another layer, this will not work. I use the line tool to make this. Now I use black and I zoom into my character. Now you see this? This is how large the line is gonna be. So this is too large. I recommend like 12. Yeah, this is perfect. Now I'm gonna show what to do. So because it's Minecraft, the character is mostly blocky. So what you wanna do is come here into the one point and to the other. Now you have this line and you continue and make make more lines and try and not do it wrongly. So now I'm doing lines. Try not getting the background, because it's gonna look worse. So try do it perfectly, but if you can't, try then do it a little wrongly, because it's gonna look better if you do it instead of using the background. Now if you wanna do this on the sword, you just have to click and go to the other side. This will not look that great, but we'll save time and will look better. Will look good, but not that great. Now if you want a cool effect and you don't want to waste a lot of time, you just do a line and then you go and black out the spikes of the sword. So you have these spikes of the sword, and remember, say in the trail. If you do something wrong like this, you can always do this, and if you always done anything wrong, you can do Ctrl Z and it comes back how many times you want. Remember to try and not waste a lot of time, so you can always do this. So now you have the spikes of the sword. You can continue, try and get everything, and now I'm gonna just do it a lot quicker. Remember, one side to the other, and if you have this, you can always Ctrl Z and try fix it. And like this, it's a dark side. You still have to do this, so one point to the other. If it's inside, there's no problem. And this has here is a point, here is another, and here's another, 3 points. If you don't wanna do that, you can always use the middle lines so it looks curvy. So you now have this outline in your character. That means that you have done everything right. Now what you want to do is go to the bucket tool and click on inside your character. If there's no gap, this will not make a problem, but if there is a gap, it will paint everything, and that means there is a problem. Now there are these gaps, and make them disappear. You just have to open this up until they are gone. Now you can press enter or go to another tool, and you have the character fully outlined, and this will save a lot of things and will make your thumbnail look a lot better. Now I know now I want the bed. What I'm gonna do is make the same. I just need to make the same thing I made for the character, and I first need to add a layer, because this can causally, for no reason, you can simply mess up your old outline, and it can save a lot of time if you decide to make another layer. So you make the same thing, line to line, try not to make errors. Now you have the outline, and here is a problem. Why I made this is just because, as you can see, the bed does a little bit of a strange thing here, and that's because the point of view I took this image from. Now I can use simply the erase tool, and this will solve the problem. There's no problem if you paint inside. Now you just go to the bucket tool again and paint everything inside. Make sure there is no gap here again, and you can mix the two layers together, so you have this pretty cool and great thing. Now what you need to do now is just come here, use the magic tool, and you click outside the layer, and it will make this. Now if you have one, you just click in the object you want to do, but in this case I'm gonna use outside because I have two objects. Now if I have more than one object, I have to go edit and invert the selection. Now I have this. You can also click in the object, press Ctrl and click the other object. It will look the same. So you're done with this. Now you're gonna do is click the layer of your image, and you're pressing Ctrl C, create a new layer, and press Ctrl V. Now you won't see the difference, but if you take out your image, it will look like this. As you can see, there's no background, and that is exactly what I want. Now I forgot this, but this is not a big of a problem because the next step is gonna delete it. Because the next step will make it not visible, but I'm gonna remove it anyway because yeah, I want a lot of detail. I like doing details, so now I'm done with this. As you can see, anyone who has this file image can notice that there is something wrong here, all the way, and something wrong here. This one is not so noticeable as the other ones, but someone can see this problem. So I recommend, after deleting all of the things you don't want, you just go to the background, click image. No, you go to background, you go to effects. Now you go to this one on top of the object, and you go to the blur out. So the normal blur. Now you wanna add some of it. Don't make the obvious that you cut it out, and as well try not to exaggerate on it. But if you don't have ads and you only have the characters, you can exaggerate how you want to, but in this case try to make the background not noticeable that you edit it, and try and not make the outline of this that you edited it. So just a little bit. So now you have this. What you wanted to do is go to effect. This step is only if you want. So you go to effect again, and you go to the same tab, and you go to radial blur. Now you have this. I recommend turning it down for 1 because 2 is it's much. You don't need to. It's too much of an effect. Now I like to put the quality on the 5. That is the max quality, so it will look better. Now you have this. You are almost done. Now you grab the background, you go to adjusts, and you go to the curves. You try and put it up and down. Try and make an S. Now if you make the first one on top and the other one on behind, down, if you make this down and this up, what will make it will make this brighter, and the shadows will not be noticeable. Now if you want, now the other way, it's more like an S. It will look even more dramatic. So I like this dramatic one. You can see the shadow and the colors pretty easily, but it's not that noticeable as the characters. No, you have the characters. I like to use this layer. I duplicate it, so now I have two layers of the same one, and it's black. So I'm gonna go to adjusts and to saturation and color. Now I make it white, so it will look like this. What I'm gonna do now is go to options of the layer. So you go here, and now you can change the name if you want, and the visibility as well, but we only gonna use the opacity and the mode. The mode is always in normal, but for light you go to superposition like we used here on the borders. Now this is too much of a light. What you want to do is to go here to opacity and try brighten it little, like not this, try make it noticeable. Now you have this, don't make it so bright or super boring. What you want to do now is go to the normal brush tool, and you go to your black outline again, and invert the colors because I have two objects. Now I have this outline. I go to the brush tool, make it so large like this, and I use the white color. And I forgot, you have to make a new layer. Now you do this like a light. You can always make it smaller here so it looks more like a light, and make it bigger brush size. And so we have the basic light from the sun. Now I will make it smaller and outline the sun more like where the light touches, like the sword, the arms, everything. Try to make it noticeable. The cape, this side of the arm not, but this leg yeah, and this leg. Now you have this slide, and it looks great how it is now, but I recommend going to options of the layer and changing the mode from normal to superposition again. Now it will look it will look like a light, and you can always, if it is too bright, you can always slide the opacity, but I like it. And actually I want it more bright, so what I'm gonna do, the opacity is on the max, so I can't make it more bright. So I'm gonna duplicate the layer, and as you can see, it's more light. The problem is too light, so there is too light on the objects. So what I'm gonna do is go to options of the layer and change the opacity a little bit. So if I change it, will simply remove what I've done, but I want it just a little more shiny, not too shiny. Yeah, like this, maybe a little more. So now you have this, your objects are so shiny, and the background is blurred out and is different from the background. Is different from the objects, and your objects may, if someone looks at this thumbnail, will maybe click on it because of the thumbnail. I should advise you that when you make this thumbnail, you make the objects larger than mine. Mine is too tiny. Try and see if someone sees your thumbnail from far. You can tell what is happening, and try and make the thumbnail as colorful as possible. Now, there is so much space left. What I'm gonna use this space for, so the border ones I'm not gonna use, but this is the sky. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add or the text or the image. So I'm gonna add the image of 2021 because it's a new year and this is the name of the video. So I'll be right back. So I didn't find any image I'd like. So what I'm gonna do is just add the normal text. I have this plugin that lets me add text, and it is highly customizable. Now I have this, and I can change the outline. I can make it bigger as well. I like this size. Now here I have the thumbnail. The 2 is strange. I don't know why, but I will let it be like this. Now I will move this, rotate it, make it bigger, and put it right here. I'm gonna add a little shadow so it looks like this, and I'm gonna duplicate, put it behind, down the original one, and I'm gonna move it so it looks like this, and gonna change the color and the saturation, and I'm gonna change it from white to black. It's white because I changed it to white. Now I have this. What I'm gonna do is go to layer options, change the from normal to superposition, and like it is a shadow. Now if it is on the dirt, for example, it will look different. I'm gonna show. So it looks like this. If you don't like the effect, it looks like this because this is a wall and this is a sky, and like the shadow is not. But if you don't like, you can always go to normal and go down the opacity so it looks like more cartoony style. Now I like the superposition one because it looks like more real. And I'm gonna add the last layer. I'm gonna be putting it on almost the last one, because the last one is the background, of course. Now I'm gonna I'm gonna do black, the brush tool, a large position, and a little bit down. It looks like a shadow. Now I'm gonna put it here where my character is. And remember, the sun comes from here. So this is the shadow of the bed. Now you have this. You go to option. You go to the layer option, normal to superposition, and change the opacity lower because it looks so ugly. Try and make it noticeable like this. And here you have it. You have your thumbnail. You can add more detail if you want. Now you have the basics, and you have the advanced stuff all in one place. And I almost forgot, this will be the last video I'm gonna make in a while, just because school is starting and I have to get better grades and you know. So you have your thumbnail. To end this video, you wanna go to file and you wanna save as, and you can add a name, and remember, save as PNG. So when you save, it will save all the layers. Now you saved as PNG. What you wanted to do is have the PNG one, so you can change it later if you want, and have a PNG so you can put it on YouTube. Now I will save a PNG, and I already have it, and it will look like this. Now if you try and put it on your YouTube video, YouTube will not leave you, will not make you add this video, this thumbnail, and just because the image it is more than 2 megabytes, and if you have the same problem with me, because I like making a high res thumbnail first. What do you make? So I have this thumbnail, I go to image, you can crop the image if you want, I don't know why, but you can always make it smaller. I like doing it by percentage, so 75 will do the job for most of you, but I always use 70%. You can see the size here. I think it's the size of the PDN. So if now it is smaller, and you can save it as PNG as well. And if I'm gonna add random things, because it will not save if I do this. And now I have the two. This one is bigger, as you can see, for these pixels, and this one it is smaller, so a little bit, so just a little bit. Now I have my thumbnail, and I'm gonna post this video. Bye.